Hey guys, hey, happy Monday. It's your girl Brandy Janae, and I am back with a weekend wrap up. It is Monday. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Whether you got to go do some things, I know it's cold where I am. So all I did was go to my suite, which I had a really good weekend at the suite. But I didn't do anything else because it's cold and I'm waiting on the summer to come, spring or summer. Because that's when I like to be out and about when the weather is nice and warm. Right now it is cold and all I want to do is hibernate. But I hope the rest of you all had a really good weekend. I wanted to come back with a video. I'm going to start doing these videos every week. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel so that you will be notified and you can find out when I upload another video. Okay. Of course, most of my videos at this point is reality TV, Real Housewives. We're going to do some more different shows. I just started reviewing Traders. So, again, a lot of more things to come in the future. Make sure you are subscribed, hit the bell notification so you can be notified when I upload a new video. And here you can follow all things Brandy Janae. All right. So first things first, y'all, honey, they kicked it off on Friday. Like, I don't even think we could get to the end of the work day good enough before we get information finding out that Simon has been detained by ICE. Okay. Yes. Simon has been detained by ICE. Okay. We got this on Friday. Now, that man, now let me tell you, this man, honey. When Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, you believe them the first time. I know Portia has got to be sitting somewhere thinking, oh my God, how did this dream turn into a nightmare and so quickly? Oh my God, it turned so quickly. But let's not forget, he was only married to Fallon for a few years before he up and divorced and drug, and not before he drug her name through the mud on his way out the door. And the only reason why it seemed to not affect him the way he was behaving through that divorce, it didn't affect him because of what he was saying and the fact that it ended up being true about this lady, his ex-wife, I guess having an affair with the man that she now has. She's pregnant currently. They are married this year, and this is her second baby. So, and she had a previous baby, and it just seemed like from the timeline, we don't know how it happened or what was going on in their house, but from the timeline, it seemed to be that Simon was being truthful with that information about her cheating on him, and that is why he left, right? And of course, him and Portia got together. They got together very quickly. Everybody found out on that Mother's Day, and it was like 2 weeks after he filed for divorce. It was real crazy, right? We remember all of that. And lo and behold, how funny is it that Real Housewives of Atlanta is about to premiere in 2 weeks on March 9th? And here it is. Portia is going through another divorce. We never did get to see her and Simon as a married couple. But looks like that's not going to happen. Even they're getting a divorce anyway, so it wasn't going to happen. However, part of why they're getting a divorce, which is quite interesting, is this whole Simon's green card information. So news broke very early, and it had to be last year, maybe September, something like that. It's been a little while, so I can't remember the time frame, y'all. But news broke that Simon was applying for citizenship and he had been denied. As we found out, this is the multiple denial, multiple times. But the reason for the denial is that he was actually in the country under a false name. So there's a whole nother story that goes behind it, but I'll give you the like really quick synopsis of what I know, or at least what I was able to find out. Okay. And again, this is after he has applied for basically for citizenship. Okay, so according to WSB-TV, Gobadia's citizenship request has been denied by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services after attempting to become a citizen since the 80s. He came to the States in 1982 and stayed past the expiration of his visa, making him eligible for deportation in 1985. In 1992, he was deported after pleading guilty to bank and credit card fraud in 1987 and arrested twice more over the years between based on court documents. Under an identity that was undisclosed, he shortly after was granted permanent residency. In 2016, he was denied after applying to become a naturalized citizen, and he has been fighting since apparently. So that what they're saying is he's been making multiple appeals about wanting to become a naturalized citizen. And at some point I guess they just decided to out him because he had been here, overstayed his visa twice, actually been deported from the country, came back inside the country. And this is where it gets tricky because he was actually deported. He overstayed his visa twice, okay? The second time he was literally deported, the way that they have him now, I guess, getting ready to deport him. So he was actually deported and then he entered the country again. This is the one where he's entered the country under a different name than whatever name it is he had been using. Now, all we know is Simon Gobadia. Listen, I don't know what his Nigerian name is. I don't know what other name that it is that he's going by. So I guess essentially we don't know who this man is. And I would think that Portia kind of found herself in a position where maybe she didn't know who she was with either. Now, the time frame that they took to get married aside, because she could have been married to him for 5, 7 years at this point before this type of information would have come to her attention. And it's really kind of scary when you think about it. Like when you meet somebody, especially foreigners or things like that, like how do you know that a person is who they say they are? Anyway, shortly after that, Portia and Simon, Portia filed for divorce because it came out maybe that he had some other things going on. But basically, the fraud of it all is the fact that you are in the country under a different name, and now nobody knows who you are. Will the real Simon Gobadia please stand up? If Simon Gobadia is even the real person, like we don't even know who the real person is. So Portia filed for divorce, and listen, I don't blame her. I would have filed for divorce also. Like I said, because that's really scary and that's really serious information. Well, Simon up and went off to Dubai, but he was very adamant in his series of posts, honey, while he was trolling Portia. He was adamant that he was just in Dubai on business. Like, didn't nobody put him out the country? Which I know that was a lie because as soon as they said it, he was gone, right? Because they was coming for you. You wasn't supposed to be here, and now you're here under a falsified name. You thought they was just gonna leave you alone? Okay. Anyway, so again, he fled to Dubai. I'm gonna use the word fled, but we can put allegedly in there. um he fled to Dubai. He's been in Dubai for God knows how long. And clearly he must have, which, that's the thing about a narcissist, honey. Like when you start to do your thing and he gonna be able to come and, basically shake something up or stop something, you get your own self in trouble. So again, Simon is the poster child for you don't think fat meat greasy. Because I told you for the last few months, he been poking, trolling trolling Portia while at the same time poking fun at us, trying to make it seem like we, the public, don't know what is going on. Like, oh, we got the facts wrong. No, we understand citizenship and non citizenship. And, sir, not for nothing, but have you been paying attention to what's going on in the climate? Like, if anything, if anybody is not confused about what those two things are, like, it's not the American people. I think you're the only one confused, sir, because what would possess you to try to sneak your little raggedy tail back into Georgia? Because clearly that's where they detained you from. And I think he was trying to do that because now that the season is Real Housewives of Atlanta season is about to air, we see some little clips where he wanted to raise a case about defamation because he didn't like the fact that Portia's mom mentions in this clip. Now, we don't know what the context of the conversation, but she mentions, um, Simon has some type of fraud. And so he's taking that as, oh my God, like she can't be saying anything she want. And I think he wants to try to sue NBC. Honey, you're gonna have to get your citizenship together first. I mean, and every time I would see this man post, I swear I was on under the post like, sir, you have a lot of other things that you need to be worried about. And what Portia is doing in this community bought house it's not your business. Get your citizenship together. But again, we saw Simon be a troll when it came to Fallon. And so I'm not surprised that he's trolling Portia. It was something about that behavior in the first place I didn't like. And so now Portia's just, got to go through the ringer with this man. Like I said, how fast, how quickly does your every dream become your worst nightmare? And I think Kenya could relate because I think Kenya found herself in that same position. And so here's I guess, a cautious tale, ladies. Just be careful about being desperate. Be careful about looking at what a person has as something to catch your attention. Pay attention to who this person is and what their character presents. Because most people do tell you who they are without even saying anything. They show you who they are. You just have to pay attention. But I'm looking forward to Real Housewives of Atlanta, to this Sweet 16 season. I don't know what to expect. Listen, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I have special guests. We are collabing and we're going to do a special video, a special live, basically where we're going to discuss Real Housewives of Atlanta, the season 16 upcoming season. We're going to discuss what our expectations is, what we liked about the photo shoot. We're going to discuss everything in between, everything that led up to um Sweet 16, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Sweet 16. So, of course, we're going back down memory lane. Make sure you are subscribed, and we're going to do some Housewives trivia. So, if you're a housewife enthusiast like I am, make sure you are subscribed to my channel so we can do some housewife trivia. We might do some other trivia too. I actually like a little trivia. So if we can get a trivia community together, maybe we'll do a lot of different trivia. We'll see. But we're starting off with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, make sure you subscribe. So yeah, we're gonna wish Simon all the best. So clearly he is detained. And I guess he will be making his way back home. I'm not really sure what that means for anything going on legal. I don't know what that means for Portia's divorce. Like, I feel like if he's not able to be a citizen and actually participate in any of the legal things that's going on. Like I say, I don't know if being a citizen means you can't participate. Like maybe they'll do like Skype or something. But I'm thinking if all else fails, it just goes to a default judgment, which I guess would benefit Portia, since she's the one that filed. I don't know. Jump down in the comments. Tell me what y'all think about that. Okay, what y'all think about it. But I'm ready for Simon to just kind of go away. It's like what I think about all the time. Go home, Roger. Remember that? That's how I feel. Go home, Roger. Um, but It's gotta take its course, okay? So we're gonna go here to some lighter news, right? We just gonna do some lighter news. Congratulations are in order for our girl Melody Cherie, formerly of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Yes, that's right. Melody Cherie announced that she will not be returning to the upcoming season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Love and Marriage Huntsville just wrapped on I think it just wrapped about 2 weeks ago with the final view of the reunion. And so Mel is she is moving full steam ahead with her businesses. Of course, she was already an entrepreneur, so she's kind of in a lane that she is familiar with. However, she has Seventh Avenue Beauty, which she is doing TikTok sales, and she recently broke a TikTok live record. And that TikTok live record was for um having the longest watch time, having the longest view time on a shoppable live. So congratulations, Melody Cherie. We already know she's gonna do big things. She's one of the people that I have my eye on. I'm in the beauty industry and I'm kind of working my way up a little bit. So like I said, she's one of those people I have my eye on just to kind of get point tips and pointers and different things like that, and even just inspiration. I think Mel is a great inspirational inspirational personality that we have had the pleasure of being introduced to. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what else is next for Mel. So big ups to Mel. Congratulations on breaking that TikTok record, right? Okay, now let's move on to other news. So we just gonna talk about we know Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. The current seasons are going now. Real Housewives of Potomac is currently wrapping up with the reunion filming part two. Excuse me, the reunion is airing, and part two just recently aired last night. So again, be subscribed to the channel so you can get the review for Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. I have a collaborator that I work with that, and we do that review together. So you can go back and listen to any of the past lives, or make sure you are subscribed, and hit that bell notification button so you can be notified when we go live again. I'm not sure; we might have to postpone today's date. My collaborator is not feeling well; she's under the weather, but I will keep you posted anyhow. Um, so, like I said, Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine is currently airing. Real Housewives of Potomac is wrapping up. But with that being said, we know that the biggest topic with Real Housewives of Potomac is Karen Huger and her DUI. So Karen Huger was convicted of the DUI. It is confirmed that this is her fourth DUI conviction. Okay, I wasn't really sure because it was so many numbers being floated around, but we knew this was not the first one that she received. However, it has been confirmed that this makes a total of four. And it looks like the prosecutors are looking for jail time. They want at least 6 months. And they feel kind of similar to the way most of us felt. So we know that she was convicted. Subsequently, the reunion was scheduled. Subsequently, she was absent from the reunion and conveniently checked herself into a quote unquote rehab facility. I think she called, excuse me, let me take that quote back because that is not what she called it. It's a quote unquote um oh God, I can't remember. She worded it kind of strangely. So we're not really sure that it's a rehab. For all we know, it's just an elevated um vacation home with Reiki leaders or something around. Like, because um she's consistently conveyed the message that she doesn't have a problem. However, it did seem like her entry into rehab was convenient to help her out with a sentence because she had been convicted. And If nobody else knew this was her fourth one, she knew it was her fourth one. Which is really strange. Again, here we go to these strange movements, because if you thought that going to rehab would benefit you in any way, I don't know why you didn't do that in the first place. I don't know why you waited until you actually was convicted, and why anybody would think that people are so, you know, so silly and so dumb and so stupid that they're not gonna think, the same thing you were thinking, like, oh, let me go to rehab and help my sentence. Because you went the 2 days after you was convicted, you think that prosecutors and everybody involved in this case, you think that they're not gonna put two and two together. Two plus two gonna always make four. If it makes something else, you can't count. Two plus two is never going to equate to anything else but four. And so I don't know why she thought that nobody else would figure that out. I don't People move, and they move so strangely. But here in this, thanks to Neighborhood Talk, here in this clip, they're just basically saying, like, hey, she's had repeated offenses. Like, we have given her another chance. They do think that the timing of her going into this facility was questionable and maybe a tactic, as we all do. So at the end of it, it looks like Miss Karen might actually end up going to do some jail time for a little bit. I listen, it might be what needs to happen, because again, she clearly has not come to any realization that there is even the slightest bit of a problem. And at 4 DUIs, whether it's under intoxication, um, under the influence, whatever the I is in the DUI, because I think she likes to really kind of use the excuse of being depressed and on antidepressants because of her parents' death. And listen, these are the reasons why I don't like when people try to use that type of stuff, because you sound like an a-hole if you kind of like pushing that to the side. But a-hole here, I'm pushing that to the side. I'm not here to tell anybody how long they should grieve any type of loss, because that's not my place, and it's not my business, right? How long it takes somebody else to grieve something. But using it as an excuse, getting yourself in these situations, and then kind of reverting back to something that happened to you. She went all the way back to her college. She even pointed out that she had been taking antidepressants because of what happened to her during college. Listen, nobody has time to talk to a 60-year-old woman about what she's going through because of something that happened to her in college. Do you know how long ago it's been since that lady been in college? And now everybody else is supposed to give all of this sympathy. Like, you made it through 45 years. Listen, can't be me, okay? Can't be me. But good luck to Karen. We're gonna keep her in our prayers, right? Because we don't want to see anything bad happen to Karen. We just want Karen to realize that, girl, you do have a problem, and you probably need to pay attention to that. Okay. Okay. Next up is Dr. Heavenly. Now, these are two words we are not used to. Excuse me. I got tongue tied, y'all. These this is a phrase that we are used to hearing when it comes to Dr. Heavenly. When I first saw this headline, okay, excuse me, I put the N one up. But Dr. Heavenly apologizes for comments she made about gay men not being real men. I didn't mean it that way. I meant to post the first post, because the first post, of course, is the fact that she pissed off the whole community, honey. She had pissed off the whole LGBTQ community. And what I'm saying about Dr. Heavenly is, since when is what she's saying not offending somebody, right? We know that every time Dr. Heavenly opened her mouth, somebody is going to be offended. because she has an offensive mouth. Like that's it. She speaks offensively. She's going to offend somebody, and not for nothing. Her purpose is to offend. Like, and not. I don't mean that in a malicious way, but any when somebody joning on you, their purpose is to offend you. So when she speaks to offend. So the fact that this comment had gotten blown out of proportion on this particular day, because let me tell you something. Go back and listen to Dr. Heavenly's live. That's not the first time she's made that statement. And I think that in a community where we all speak a similar language, I think we should have been able to understand just what she meant. And then here we go again with people kind of using, taking one little small thing and twisting it and being able to weaponize it, in this way that demonizes another person when you know that wasn't the case. Not for real, like, but we are constantly being educated every day about better ways to voice our opinions, right? Because like I say, you might say something and it's out of ignorance, but the intent was not to offend. Even though, again, I think that whenever Dr. Heavenly is speaking, her intent is to offend. So what she was saying in that clip, she meant to offend. She was offending Greg, because what the point she was trying to get to is anytime you speaking about men and you use the term a real man, that is meant to offend whatever other man it is you're referencing. Okay, if you have to distinguish a real man from a man, then you're meaning that to be offensive. There is no other way to tell somebody that a real man does this. Again, I know exactly what she was talking about, and I'm not saying that I have not made a similar statement about real men do XYZ. Um, but I like I say, I think I found it more questionable that this was the thing that came up and kind of caught traction. And I thought, this is what Dave Chappelle was talking about, or excuse me, Chris Rock was talking about when he, coined selective outrage. Yeah, because this is not the first time Dr. Heavenly has said that. That belief and that thought process is a part of who she is, it's a part of her character. She's been saying it since she first entered the scene. And if you don't know that, I'm not sure you don't watch the show. There's not a soul that's been watching Dr. Heavenly for all of these years and feel like that's the first time they've heard her make a comment like that. And again, her purpose was to offend. She specifically was trying to offend Sweetie and Gregory, because how do you attack men? How do women attack men? They attack their manhood, right? They attack telling them if they are a real man or not. They attack letting them know if they are softer, quote unquote, than somebody else. And we all know that that everything has other connotations. And so that's where the big uproar comes from, is because then there's this there's this we have to correct using terms like soft for men, to describe men, because using that term can indicate that there is something else happening with the man. Again, it is so many like levels to it. But I think, unfortunately, for this one, I just feel like it was out of pocket. I think everybody kind of knew what she meant. I don't know if it like to say that to say, well, I'm not saying it was okay for what she said for her to say it. I don't think it's ever okay because again, you shouldn't go up to any man, whether they are gay, straight, I don't know, whatever else is out there for them to be. But and then go and attack their manhood in any way. I don't agree with that at all because I 100% don't think that being gay makes you less of a man. Man and male are genders. Like that's what that is. Male and man, female and woman, and so yeah, so I don't really care what the orientation is of who you decide to be with and spend your time with. That doesn't determine whether it's okay for somebody to come and attack you in that way. So no, I don't agree with that. Point out flat. But I don't necessarily agree with the selective outrage. You go around, you let somebody get very comfortable with the way that they speak because Dr. Heavenly has been disrespectful. Like and she's had that constant problem on her own show. So she's been disrespectful, but it only becomes a problem when she disrespects you. You see how that works? When you really just to be speaking on the fact that maybe a person shouldn't be speaking like that at all. And it doesn't matter if they're talking to a person that we like and agree with and care about or not. But see, that's what we do. As long as they're not, messing with us, or as long as it ain't affecting us, then you won't correct somebody in their wrong until it affects you. So now here she is having to apologize and explain what she meant. And I said this already. It's time for her to get off that YouTube channel. Like so she needs to really kind of reevaluate what it is that she's doing. If she's gonna stay at MD or if she's gonna come into the land of content creating, because I don't think that is working. I don't think it's going to work out in her best interest to stay on this end. I think this is a nice little sign that it's time for her to wrap it up. So, what do y'all think about that? Drop down in the comments again. Let me know what you think about Dr. Heavenly and this situation. Like I said, her offending somebody is not surprising. I think she offends somebody every time she opens up her YouTube live. Okay. And listen, I like Dr. Heavenly, but I'm just saying, I know the truth. I can tell the truth, and I can tell the truth about people that I like. The truth about her is she's always offending somebody, and she is intending on offending somebody. And anytime you go and attack a man's pride and their manhood, you are meaning to offend them. It's no other way around it. You are meaning to offend them. It's just like calling a man a B. Like any person that turn around, you call a man a B, like you know what you're doing and you know what you mean, and you mean to offend. Like it's not like, oh well, I didn't mean it that way, like how they do. I thought I said he was just acting like one. No, acting like is, all of that. It all falls under the same family. Like we're not gonna play semantics, and that's kind of what I think she got herself wrapped up in. Because, like I said, this is not the first time she's made that very statement. Like the very statement, that very statement is embedded in her belief system. She believes that. Many people believe that, but it was, like I said, it just was out of context, I believe. And again, we can have this selective outrage, and so now it gets blown out of proportion. So I say this is a good sign to get Dr. Heavenly off of YouTube. Okay, Dr. Heavenly, it's time for you to get off YouTube. And with that, we're gonna end it out, child. We're gonna end it out. So listen, I haven't been really paying a lot of attention to what's going on politically right now, just because I am protecting my mental health I'm protecting my mental health for as long as I'm on this earth. That is at my number one priority. For the rest of the time God gives me, I will be protecting my mental health. Part of protecting my mental health is knowing what I can handle and what I can't handle. And some of the ups and downs that we have experienced, and I am anticipating we will experience over the next 4 years under this political climate. I have just decided to detach myself from some of the subject matters, just because, again, I have to protect my mental health. You know, it's hard out here for a pimp. It's hard out here if you ain't one, if you ain't a pimp. Okay, it is hard out here for us all. And baby, these prices, it ain't, the price of eggs is not bothering me. Get on the line and y'all tell me who in the world is running around here going to the store mad because the price of eggs done went up. Baby, if they don't get their lives and talk about this doggone rent and try to get us in a better position to buy some homes, listen, that's what's on my mind. And again, that is why I am protecting my mental health, because I cannot be bothered having conversations that seem irrelevant. Um, However, so I'm saying I gave y'all that disclaimer because I want you to know that I'm not really well versed on what this picture is about and what the quote unquote making him a target, what that necessarily means. I know what it means in my psyche when I hear those words. I know what it means to me. I don't know if this is what the intent was in the White House when they was passing this man's picture around, and quote unquote allegedly, saying that this man is a target. Okay. Well, Pastor Jamal Bryant got up on Sunday morning, honey, to address his congregation as he always does. And he had a nice little message for the people down to the White House, baby. What he tell them? He say, we ain't never scared. So let me go ahead and leave y'all with the last part of his sermon. He has a cute little reel up on his Instagram. So here we go. If you gonna show a picture of the CEO of Target, Walmart, McDonald's, and Amazon that does not. Not my phone ringing in the middle of the doggone recording, y'all. We gonna have to start that all the way over. Ain't that nothing? Y'all see, I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna get it better. All hearts and minds are clear. If you gonna show a picture of the CEO of Target, Walmart, McDonald's, and Amazon that does not recognize black dollars or black business. If you gonna put up a picture of the state legislators in Florida that are banning black books. If you gonna put up the picture of the one who is stealing classified information from the IRS and Social Security. If you gonna put up a picture of those that don't want your mama $5 for insulin and your child to pay $35 for inhaler. If you gonna put up a picture of those that are jailing children and separating families. I ain't ever scared. In case you forgot, I'm from the west side of Baltimore. If you got a problem, pull up on me. Pull up on me. Hey, listen, Pastor Jamal Bryant, we stand with you. That's right. Pull up, okay? We ain't scared. All right, y'all. Have a great Monday. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you for listening. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when another video is up. And also so you can stay in touch with the community. You know, if I make posts, everybody, you only get those posts if you subscribe to the channel. Okay. So join my community, subscribe to the channel. Have a great day. Bye.